Okay, you guys, I have a fun project and I have a little backstory on this because to me it's a little bit funny because the last few times I've done a live, I've talked to you about trying to push out of your comfort zone a little bit, trying to try something new. I do have a new phone, so forgive me because I'm not completely sure if I'm looking into the camera. If I'm not, you can tell me I'm looking off into the distance and we'll try to figure it out. But so far so good, knock on wood, the new phone is working well. But so now I'm gonna get into my little backstory about the project today because like I said, it's kind of funny. After all of the talks we've been having about getting out of our comfort zone, I have always wanted to make a certain card. And I will tell you, years and years ago, I used to be a demo for one of the direct sales stamp companies. And I've done several of those along the way, but this was probably this was the first one that I had ever gone with. It was the one that I learned kind of about stamping through. And I went to my very first swap. And I wish I had kept my card so that I could show you what my first cards for a card swap looked like versus how I make cards now. But unfortunately, I was so embarrassed about that card a few years later that I am pretty sure I got rid of it. But who is on?
Donna says hi.
Hi Donna, hi Belinda, hi Vicky. So the card, I got all of these. I remember being shocked by the cards that I got because, you know, when you do a swap, you get people of all different abilities, which is the beauty of a swap. I hope everybody would always be really kind to people who were like I was when I first started, because that card was really not very pretty. That I won't even tell you. It was, the color combination involved yellow, orange, and green, and I didn't rock them. I will tell you that. But I was very limited on my supplies, and I did what I could with the knowledge I had at that time. So it's okay. Anyway, within that swap, I received this Waterfall card and I was blown away. I was new to card making. This is probably 12 years ago, maybe. No, it was probably more than that. Probably more like 20, huh?
13.
Was it that many years ago, Darren?
What was?
It was before you were born, Ben, so you don't know. When I first started stamping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was probably 15, somewhere in the 15. It doesn't really matter. About 15 years ago. So anyway, I saw this Waterfall card and I was so blown away. I held on to that forever. I probably do have that one somewhere. But I wanted to try it, but I was always just too scared because it just looked so fancy and it looked so tricky that I just thought I would never be able to make one. So I looked online to try to find a tutorial on it, and I decided I am just going to go for it and I'm going to make one. I did find a tutorial, and I do want to give the lady credit whose tutorial I watched, because she did a very good tutorial. Her name is, it's Lisa's Stamp Studio, and she did a great job. So I know that it's been around for a really long time. Who said hi?
Kay.
Hi, Kay. This technique has been around obviously at least 15 years, but it's a fun one. It's fun to revisit those old, sometimes the older things become new again. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you a Waterfall card. I'm going to show you so that if you've been intimidated by this card or any other process for card making or crafting, that hopefully maybe you'll get the courage to try something too. Yeah, Jen, she is very talented and she was very, very organized. So hopefully I can teach you at least a fraction of what she did, because she did really well. Thanks for being so patient with me as I get used to my new phone. I love this little set. These little gnomes are adorable, and I've been dying to use this, but it's such a cute springy set. I just haven't had a chance to use it until this year. So this is the set we're using. I'm going to set that aside, and I do want to point one other thing out before I get rolling, because I will forget otherwise. I do have this stamp. Remember, I used this last week when we made the cute little egg holder. So this stamp right here, I want to give away today. So if you want to share this video, go ahead and do so, and then come back in the comments and let us know that you shared it, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win this stamp. Okay? So, and it's called, what is this called, Darren? Chickadee? It's called Favorite Chickadee, I think.
Let me look.
Darren, thank you. I want to thank you for moderating for me and putting up all the links for us. Makes my job so much easier. And I'm ready to just jump in. So I did a lot of things ahead of time because I wanted, this is mostly about the structure of this card. So the first thing you do is you get your standard, we're going to make a standard A2 sized card.
Who says hi?
Who said hi?
Tina.
Hi, Tina. Thanks for joining.
Stamp's called Favorite Chickadee.
Favorite Chickadee is the stamp set, just so you know. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut my 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and I scored it down the middle, and so we've got our card base. This color of cardstock is called Poison Apple, and it's such a fun springy green. I am excited to use this. And then, believe it or not, we are going to use the paper that I've been using the last couple of projects. And part of that is just because I want you to see, I mean, I used it for everything for the last little bit, and we still have quite a bit of this paper. I'll just kind of remind you of how cute all of the little prints are in this. Let's see if I can find the front. We've got all of those fun, double-sided, beautiful, bright, fun, springy colors. And I have already pre-cut a lot, like I said, a lot of these pieces. So bear with me for a minute. I'm just going to set that aside. And this is the Hippity Hoppity Doodlebug Designs 6x6 pad. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to cut, well, I've already cut, but the next thing you're going to cut when you make this card is you're going to cut a strip of paper 2 inches wide by 9 inches long. So I did that, and then I also used my corner rounder to just round off one side. Okay? So then, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to score it. So you're going to hold your paper with the rounded side in. Let me show you so you can kind of see. I've got my score blade on my cutter. So you're going to go from the straight edge. And from the straight edge over, I scored it at 2 inches, at 2 3/4 inches, 3.5 inches, and 4 1/4 inches. Okay? And I will probably make a blog post for this one that you'll be able to check out on the Brutus Monroe site so that you can have some of the measurements and stuff. So then once you do that, then you're going to fold over, and you want to make sure that you've got everything straight. You're going to definitely want to use your bone folder or your crease tool and just go over your creases. And I went both directions because I want this nice and loose, because this thing is going to get some action. There's going to be some pulling involved. Okay, so go ahead and get all of that scored and all of that folded over, and just like I said, kind of loosey-goosey it up. And once you fold it over, and you're folding towards you, that first fold, right? You can see that there's a little, it's going to be longer on the bottom than on the top. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, just to kind of get rid of some of our papers that are here, is I cut a panel from 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, just so that we have a little bit of matte showing. And I just love this rainbow stripe. I thought it was really cute. Look how cute the other side is too, with the eggs. And because I couldn't decide, I decided I would do the rainbow stripes. And then when I cut this down, there was exactly the right size strip. I cut it to 4 inches wide, and then I had my 3/4 inch that I needed for this piece, because I'm going to use this piece. You can kind of see where it was. Okay. So now we'll just go ahead and adhere that to our card base. And this, we are going to use a lot of our easy tear tape today. Am I missing anybody?
Not so far. I think they're listening. All right.
Sometimes I get kind of chatty and I talk kind of fast, so I'm going to try to calm down so I can talk a little slower and enjoy everybody's company a little more. Can you believe how fast March went by? I can't believe we're already almost to April. So if you do have any Easter projects you want to make, it's now or never, right? Okay, so I think we'll put, do we want the green at the top or the green at the bottom? Let's do the green at the bottom. So I'm going to do my best to center this. And a little tip, it's a little easier to get things centered if you're standing than it is if you're sitting.
Bright, springy colors.
Tina, I love them too. They're just fun and refreshing and kind of yummy looking, actually. They remind me of like a sour candy or something. Okay, so then the next thing you're going to want to cut is you're going to want to get, I used Not Your Mama's cardstock. If you're not familiar with that, it's a very thick, nice, heavy cardstock. It's wonderful. I love it. And I cut 4 of them, 4 little panels at 3/4 inches square. And you can see I already did some coloring. I knew that there was a lot to putting the mechanics to this together, so I really wanted to make sure I got through it. And then this one, I cut to 1 7/8 by 3 3/4, because this piece right here is going to go inside right here. So actually, let's just adhere that right now. It's kind of in the way. I like getting the pieces of paper out of my way so that I can move around a little more and not lose any. That's my biggest thing. So the one thing you want to make sure, you can stamp right on this if you want, but I wanted to have more color on mine. I wanted to actually color the image. I think this little egg house is so cute. And the egg stamp, I'll just show you again, is much wider than that. It actually comes out to the sides. You've got some cute little rolling hills and a cute little sign over here, but I wanted it to go in this, so I just stamped it and let the sides not stamp on it. Okay, so I'm just double checking to make sure none of the bottom of that is showing. It looks good to me. And now the next part is we're going to fold this over and we're going to adhere from the bottom up. Okay, so the last little layer I want here is going to go on first. Now, if you've taken any of Michael's folio classes or Maria's, you've probably done something similar to this next little bit. This is going to go on. Let me see if I've got it right. Yes, okay, I just wanted to double check myself here. So I'm not going to have all of them adhered all the way down. This one will be because it goes all the way across the square, but obviously that's not going to be the case for the next one. And just full disclosure here, I have all the pieces ready to go, but this is my first time assembling this card, so anything could go wrong. So bear with me and hold your breath with me that everything goes right. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is I want to take, and you want to use a fairly strong adhesive, and this is a good adhesive. We're just going to tape within this little section right here. You can kind of see. And I'm just going to peel that off because I think we're going to have it's a little wider than being side by side, I think. So that way if it overlaps, it overlaps. And we can still peel the backing off. excuse the ink on my finger. Pretty much that should just be a given because I probably always have ink on my finger. Okay, so we're gonna have, that's ready to go, but first we need to matte. Oh, you know what? I wasn't gonna put that guy on the bottom one. He's there now. I was gonna put him, let's see if I can still get it off since it hasn't been on very long. Once you've got this on for a while, it's almost not worth even trying to get it off. See, I did get a little bit of the cardstock, but because it's freshly applied, I think we'll be able to get away with it. I actually want to put the eggs on the bottom. So we will just switch those out. And you want to make sure you're keeping your sides as straight as you can. You don't want anything kind of poking out. And then we've got this little guy that we will put right up to that fold line. And now we need to put our little Easter basket on. Do I have, yeah, I do have stuff on that one. That way we've got some of our pieces out of our way. A little more room to work. So I'm just centering that on the mats. The mats are 2 inches square. I forgot to tell you that. But again, I'll put this on the blog so that you can have all the measurements. Also, if you are just tuning in, I'll just remind you about the drawing. If you share, to come back in the comments and let us know that you shared. And also, I'll let you know that we always repost these onto the Crafty Shenanigans YouTube channel, as well as the Brutus Monroe YouTube channel. So if you didn't get a chance to see everything, you will have that opportunity. Okay, so the next part I left out so that I could do this for you. Okay, so in this set, it's kind of unique in that you've got these cute little guys, and then you've got their little hands that you can add. You can mask it, or on this one, because this guy's going to go on the front, I wanted a little dimension on that first panel. So I am not going to do that. I did cut a mask. You can see, and when I make a mask, I usually will just stick it to the back of my stamp set so I don't have to cut one the next time I use it.
Tammy says she loves the Not Your Own with cardstock.
Oh, Tammy, I do too. It is amazing stuff, isn't it? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I just wanted to do one. I didn't want you to have to sit through me coloring everything, but I wanted to show you a little bit. These are the Spectrum Noir Triblend, not Twiblend, but Triblend markers. And if you have not worked with alcohol markers, these are a good place to start. I always tell people that because I know a lot of people, again, talking about things that make us a little nervous, a lot of people are intimidated by alcohol blend markers. And these, like I said, are really user-friendly. So I'm starting with the lightest color.
What color is it?
This one is blue turquoise. And I am just, I'm not really making jagged stripes or anything. In fact, I'm almost just kind of dotting it because alcohol ink tends to spread. So I don't even always go all the way to the edge because I don't want it to bleed, especially where we're not cutting this guy out. So then I'm going to take my darkest color and I'm going to kind of find the areas that I think there would be a shadow. So I think under his arms, maybe to the side of his arms, maybe a little bit by his hands. And honestly, we're not going to see too much of that because we're going to layer this piece. But just in case you're looking at the card from the top or something, we just want it to be colored so that you don't see white behind it. And then you just come back through with your lightest color and kind of blend it all together. All right, so his hat, let's see, what color do we want to do his hat? So you can see this is how we're just gonna lay this right over the top. Let's do the egg. Let's do some fun swirls with this.
Kay said you can't share it because her Facebook keeps locking up.
Oh, thanks for trying, Kay. All right, so we are going to just kind of mess around with this. I don't really have anything particular in mind for this egg. I just think swirls are fun. I'm not trying to blend it really or anything. I'm just kind of messing with it. You know how Easter eggs are. I think I enjoyed coloring eggs more than my kids ever did.
What color is that?
This is purple. And then maybe we will blend it out a little bit. We could add more colors to this. We could put some pink in there, some blue in there, and just kind of mess with it. I always like the kind of tie-dye looking eggs, but so as you see, I bled already. Either that or I just was clumsy. Either one is highly possible. So I'm gonna see, I haven't tried this before with this blender. Oh, see, that works really well. So I'm using the blender. This will help you push the ink back in where you want it. Okay? So I'm thankful that that worked. So then we will color his hat. Let's do his beard next. So I've got ice gray. And I'm gonna go with the lightest color first. Just kind of work my way. I'm just kind of doing like you would whiskery kind of strokes since it's a beard. And then I'm going to go in with the dark. And I think by his hat would be a little darker. There'd be some shadow there. Maybe by his hands a little bit. Definitely under his hands.
Carrie says hello.
Hi, Carrie. Thanks for joining.
Jen says, every time I see a gnome and someone says something about a hat, I think about Travelocity commercial, don't forget your hat.
That's so funny. I forgot about those Travelocity commercials. They were really with it, knowing the trends, weren't they? Gnomes are so fun right now. They've been big for a little while, huh? I keep hoping they will stick around because they're so fun. But I do know they've been around a little while now. But I think we all love them, so we'll just keep them around as long as we can, huh? And then I'm just using the blender to kind of soften this out a little bit. And sometimes you don't see it until the alcohol dries. Now, I will tell you, I'm using Not Your Mama's cardstock, but when you are using alcohol markers, the Perfect Blend cardstock is amazing for that. But I wanted something a little heavier for the mechanics of the card. Otherwise, I would be using that. But it blends nicely on this too. I don't have any problem with this for that either. Okay, so that kind of softened that up a little. In fact, I'm going to take a little bit of this gray just to make a little, just to ground our gnome a little bit. And then I'm just going to blend it out again a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on. We got to see if we can line up our little arms. And I should have showed you before I put it on, and I should have colored his nose too. I wonder if I can take that off. Okay, good, I can. I've got, this is one of the Easy Tab adhesive dots. I love my mat too, my media mat, because I can just stick that to that and I can get it back off again in a second when I'm ready. And then I'm going to use tan to color his little nose and his little hands. Well, I don't need to really color those. I guess I will, just because we've colored everything else on underneath. We may as well. And then I'm just going to use the dark, just very lightly up by his hat. And I'm not even going to bother with the medium tone. I haven't really talked about the medium tone, but you can see I've got my light, my dark, and then my medium in the middle. Okay, so now we can stick our hands back on. And our little gnome has his egg that he looks really proud of. And then what color should we do his hat? I think we need to do, should we do green or should we do orange? Let's try orange. I don't know, orange is kind of close to his nose. Let's do
green.
We'll do the green.
Kay says lime green.
All right, lime green it is.
Jen says that's a great technique.
So much fun. This is a really fun set. If you're looking for an Easter set, and if you love gnomes, this is definitely one you need to get in your collection.
Is that the citrus?
This is citrus, yes. Citrus green. I think on the site this is called light green now. I got some of my markers a while ago, and they changed them up a little bit. I do want to add, I noticed today that Brutus Monroe has a big retirement sale going on. So you might want to check and see what's on that sale. I saw a lot of things I love. Some of my very favorite stamps are on that sale. So there's a retirement sale going on. You definitely need to check out.
Kay says I ordered the big guy.
The big gnome? Okay.
I guess. I'm sure.
I think there are 3 gnome sets. I know there's this one, there's a Christmas one, and then there's one that has 2 gnomes in it. Okay. I think we want just a little bit more of the dark. The one thing you do want to do is you want to blend it right away. You don't want to do your dark and then wait before you go back in with the light, because it won't blend as well. You want to blend it while the alcohol is still wet. All right, I think our gnome is pretty much ready to go. So let's get that guy on our card. I think I'll add just a little bit more.
Yeah, he's new. Maybe that was one that Mike was talking about last night.
I don't know. We'll have to look and see.
Talk about that gnome. I forget what it was called.
So many cute ones. Okay, so this guy needs to go on his little mat. And just to show you those easy tab, this is how the easy tab adhesive dots, those foam dots, that's how they come. Okay, so we'll get this guy matted on there. I should also point out on this one, this sentiment came from some of the conversation clippings. Is that what it's called? Did I get that right? Conversation clippings, yeah. And this was in the January inspiration box and the Splish Splash box. I think there's a few of those inspiration boxes left. If you did not receive one of those, that is definitely worth taking a look at because that was a phenomenal box. I love the inspiration box.
Kay says he was with the new Sprays and Glazes.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look and see, Kay. All right, so you're probably wondering how everything's going to work mechanically on this.
I asked if those were in the BM store.
If which are?
I think the foam dots. I'll put up a link.
Yeah, Darren will link it. Thank you, Darren. Okay, so this part's important. You want to, well, actually, this part is not as important. Let's do this, and then I'll tell you the part that is. So I just wanted to use a little strip of those eggs on our card front. I think we need just a little bit more right here. What was that? I'm going to remind you again about the drawing. In case you came in late, if you share the video, come back in and comment that you shared so that we can add your name to a drawing for the favorite chickadee stamp set. It looks like this. Okay, so now that I've got that on there, the next part is that we need to add this to our card. And we're not going to do any adhesive on the back. That would be your first thought, right? But this is the part that we're going to pull back and forth. So what we need to do is we need to secure this to our card front. We kind of want to center it with this bottom square. So it's just about there right now. So I'm going to say maybe the top of the green line just to make it simple for myself. And then I want to center, well, maybe I'll move it down a little bit. Let's go below the green, see if that still works. So I need to kind of keep track of where this is going to fall. I need to center it on my card where I want it, which is a little tricky because we're not securing it down, right? Not yet. So
Lori asked your card's backwards.
The camera's backwards.
Mirrored, that's all.
Yeah, it's mirrored. So we need adhesive that's going to stick to this. So I'm going to make a little mark. If I can find a pencil, which is no small feat. Okay, I've got a pencil. And again, I want to kind of make sure that this is centered pretty good. At least close. And I just want to put a little mark on either side. I'm going to erase that after, but I don't want my adhesive to go beyond that.
Lori said, okay, just checking before you stick everything down.
Lori, I appreciate that because it's not unheard of at all. Okay, so we are going to put some adhesive here. If you're a little nervous about it, it's better to have it be a little short than a little long because you don't want to gum up the works when you're trying to have it function. And we'll put some right here. And you definitely want to use a strong adhesive. In fact, I think for the sides, I may even just use glue. Let's do the sides first. And I don't want that to go out the sides, so I'm just going to kind of spread that in a little bit. Okay, so we decided it was just below the green, I believe, is what we decided. I hope it was this green. If not, then that's just the way it is because it's on. So we'll go ahead and we'll push down on that and let that dry for a second. And of course we only wanted it on the sides because if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to put anything behind here, right? Because we're just going to slide this behind here. And we've got our little lines to help us, to guide us. So we can go ahead and we can take off our adhesive. And again, we want to kind of center it in the middle of this bottom square. And it's probably not going to be exactly centered because I want it to be centered on the card more.
They said it's called the Bunny Gnome and it's 50% off.
Oh, nice.
Big gnome.
I don't know if I've seen that.
She's holding the carrot.
I don't remember seeing that gnome. I'm gonna. Oh, it's a new gnome, maybe. It might be brand new. Yeah, from the new stamp release. That's probably why I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, there's a boy and a girl one. I had forgotten about those. I don't own those yet. Those are so cute. Okay, you guys. I'm kind of scared. Are you guys ready? Here goes. Here goes nothing. Look at that. We made a waterfall card, you guys. And so one other thing I think I'm going to do to this card, I was kind of debating back and forth, but now after playing with this a little bit, that's kind of catching on my sentiment, is I think we will add a little pull to this. Might be a little bit tricky because I waited till the end, but I think we can do it. So let's see if we can. It would have been better to do this before because then I could slide under there a little easier. And I'm going to use a fancy thing called a stapler.
Jen says Yahoo, love it.
Isn't this fun? This is just a fun little easy. It was so much easier than it looked. It, like I said, 15 years and I hadn't done this. It was well overdue. Well overdue. Okay, so we'll just pull this so that we have a little more room to work. And
Lisa said so cute.
We're just going to make a little pull tab. And you could tie a ribbon through a hole if you wanted to. I'm okay with a little staple. And then I'm just going to go to this other side and trim this a little bit so it's not quite so bulky. So now,
Christina Hollingsworth said, yeah, so cute.
Thank you, Christina.
So did Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. So the only thing, you may want to skip this part because I really wanted that sentiment on there, but it does kind of catch on there. So I'll be honest with you right there. That's probably one thing I would have to do differently on the next one. But look how fun. I definitely like having the little pull tab on there.
Pamela said adorable.
Thank you, Pamela. And now, like I said, it does catch on that. So don't do that when you make yours. I think it needs a couple of little embellishments, don't you?
Donna said, love this. It's not hard. It's not as hard as I thought. Thank you for teaching me something new again.
Oh, you are so welcome, Donna. Like I said, it scared me too. It looks so fancy, but it's so much easier than it looks. So I'm just going to pull out my little arsenal of Brutus Monroe sequins. I have a few.
Tina said, I think the pull tab certainly makes it easier.
Yes, I definitely think the pull tab helps. Do you guys think maybe green on this? I want to show you these. I love these little things. These are just about the cheapest thing ever. I buy them at the dollar store, and look how easily they store.
Lisa said, maybe put the sentiment on top of the gnome one.
Yeah, the sentiment definitely would be better up higher. Yep, that's good. Mine is glued down, so I'm not going to try to move it, but that definitely would have been a better route to take. But you know what? I took that bullet for you, so now you know.
Jen said, that's a lot of sequins.
That is a lot of sequins. I do love my sequins. I'm thinking the green ones. Everybody agree with the green? I thought about the orange, but I think they're a little too bright. I think we'll go with the green. We actually have a few greens. Do you want the shiny or the flat? just check them out. I don't know. I think I kind of want the flat ones on this one.
It says green for sure.
All right. Green it is.
I like the shiny, but
Yeah?
that's me.
Well, next time I'll do shiny just for you. But I like these. I'm going to move these out of the way since that's a huge box of sequins.
Jen says, is that a shoe box? I hope, or a bigger shop shipping box.
It's a photo box. Sometime I will show you my storage that I have my Burgess Monroe stuff in, because I have a cart that I got just at the scrapbook store, and I fit 3 of these across on all 3 shelves, and it fits. It's like my favorite storage solution I've had in a while. Do I think those are enough? Do we need more sequins? I usually do 3, just I like that number, but I'm kind of thinking we have some room to play. I'm thinking maybe we do 5. Yeah, I think it needed 5. Okay, so we're just gonna quickly, you know what, I think I'm actually, no, I'll use glue. Sometimes I just use glue dots, but I think glue is good for this. One thing I have not invested in that I need to is one of those things that picks up your stuff. I forgot I had this. This will work for now. But I know there's a much fancier one. I think we still have them at Burgess Monroe. They just kind of help you.
Aren't they called a medium picker or something?
I don't know what they're called, to be honest with you. I'm so sorry. If anybody does know what those little picker-uppers are called, feel free to comment. Okay. In the end, I'm using my finger. But I can use this to help move it around a little bit.
Wax pencil works, Carrie says.
Yeah, that's what this is. All right, I think we are done.
Crystal Katana?
What was that?
Quick sticks or the Crystal Katana? Tina says like the Crystal Katana, and then Lisa said the quick sticks.
Quick sticks. I have not heard of either of those, but okay. Sounds
Tina
good.
says I think it's called the Katana, but I use the quick stick tool, so.
Ah, okay.
One of those, it sounds like.
I did not get my staple. Don't look too close because I didn't get it exactly straight. But you could even put a cute little punched flower or something right there. Could even put an egg, but you probably don't want to put too much down there. As you can tell, you don't want things to get caught. Learned that the hard way. I'll just show you one more time the Easter projects that we did this month. We did some fun little ones, and we used the Doodlebug design paper, the 6x6. We used the Chit Chat, the Doodlebug Hippity Hoppity Chit Chat too. This is the stamp that's in the giveaway, so this is your last chance. If you haven't shared, share the video now so you can put it in the comments. And remember, we made this little egg holder, which was kind of fun. You'll notice the egg is gone. Can't imagine why. The Cadbury egg we had inside. And then these ones have the little, just the little eggs inside. So if you haven't seen that video, you can go to the YouTube channel to see those. And then we made this. This was another fold that we did. Well, it's not upside down anymore. It's just backwards. A few weeks ago, because I'm trying new folds. I'm trying to branch out and try new things. And so now we've got a few under our belt. We can add them to our crafting repertoire. I think I said that right. so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your support and for watching me on these lives. I have so much fun doing them, and thank you, Darren. Now I think we should have our drawing. Is everybody ready? Darren, have you got everybody up in the drawing?
I have.
All right, he's drawing. He's got a wheel that he spins on the online.
Called wheelofnames.com.
Wheelofnames.com. Check it out.
And the winner is Tina Higdon.
Tina Higdon, you are the winner of this cute little stamp. So go ahead and PM me your address so that I can send this in the mail to you. And thank you so much. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out the retirement sale. Also, if you haven't checked it out, you may want to check out the Create Your Own Ending event. It is an event that's happening in the fall. Well, August, kind of the fall, just before fall. And it is an amazing event. So you'll want to be a part of that too. So check that out. Thank you so much. And I will see you next Wednesday at the same time. Bye.